All right, y'all. Quick disclaimer. You may hear thumps, bumps, kids, all kind of extra noises. It is what it is. Um, but I have been wanting to upload uh, on a subject regarding the First Step Act and sentencing reform. Okay, now with that being said, I follow a couple of YouTubers, um, and in that, Gab Talk Media had uploaded a video after watching another YouTuber by the name of Vonda Mary, I believe that's her name, and Vonda's points, validly so, were about why aren't we hearing about what Congress is supposed to be looking at? Where's all the media coverage, etc. So Gab did a video after watching hers. With that being said, naturally Gab had questions, and at the same time pointing out some benefits that would help black people. Now, Rhonda her research was about the media aspect of it all. Um, Another YouTuber I follow, Tab Exclusive, he just did um, an upload about exactly what I responded to on Gab's video. And he points out exactly what I pointed out, which is that this AR 5682 First Step Act, this is for federal institutions, not state. The sentencing reform, it's the same thing. It has nothing to do with state. With that, my question is, who does AR 5682 First Step Act and S 1917 sentencing reform benefit? That's the first question. Okay? So now I'm going to read a piece from the Washington Post. It reads, the Senate approach would allow thousands of federal prisoners sentenced for crack cocaine offenses before August 2010 the opportunity to petition for a reduced penalty. Keywords: petition, reduced penalty. It would also lower mandatory minimal sentencing for some drug offenses. The life for some, the life sentence, the life sentence for some drug offenders with 3 convictions or 3 strikes would be reduced to 25 years. Okay, so now, roughly 90% of prison inmates here are held in state facilities. They wouldn't benefit. Okay, there is the first red flag. Now, that was just a portion of, could have been the last paragraph of the Washington Post. All right? Now, H.R. 5682 requires the Department of Justice to develop and apply a risk and needs assessment system to identify a prisoner's risk and assign them to appropriate evidence-based program. Prisoners can earn incentives for participating in programs. Another key point, prison reform initiatives have demonstrated success in state systems, and the First Step Act would enable the Bureau of Prisons, BOP, to capitalize on similar resources at the federal level. The legislation would direct the BOP to conduct risk and needs assessments for every offender upon sentencing, and then to offer individualized, evidence-based recidivism reduction plans to all inmates without exception. All right, so I'm going to give you guys like a little tidbit because I'm going to come back and get more in depth. Okay, so that without exception. Okay, so here's the thing. Programs could include vocational training. Let me back that up. Could include vocational training, educational support, substance abuse treatment, mental health care, and anger management courses, faith-based initiatives, or other resources proven to lower the chance that men and women would reoffend. Okay? Now, that part right there, I'm going to go forward and then back up. So give me one sec because I actually pulled up on the BOP site, and I'm going to try to put my links in the description box for you all. I'm not going to say I'm doing it today because this is my first upload. I'm new to all this. Let me get back to the point. All right, so now this is from the BOP website. Remember, I just read off to you the types of programs that could be put out there. All right. I'm going to read this right off the site. The BOP contracts with residential reentry centers, also known as halfway houses. Now, this is important because a part of that bill is saying they're going to implement exactly what I'm reading to you now, which is basically already going on. All right? Now, I'll get back to that. So they have this halfway house system in place, okay? And the short term is RRCs. Help inmates gradually rebuild their ties to the community and facilitate readjustment. Approximately 17 to 19 months prior to an inmate's release, an RRC referral recommendation is made based on risk factors such as programming and treatment needs. Now, I'm going to stop there because I want to get to the rest and then backtrack. Okay, so mental health care. They already offer that. It reads mental health care levels, of which there are 4, are used to classify inmates on their need for mental health services. Facility placement ranges from care level 1 facilities, which are for inmates who do not require significant mental health care, to care level 4, inpatient psychiatric care. Now, if you go on the site, they actually have like stats So you can go on there, and this mental part of it, it will actually show you how many have come through, what the results are, etc. All right, so now I'm going to medical care levels, of which there are 4, are used to align an inmate's medical needs with institution capabilities, including community medical resources. Care level 1 facilities are assigned to generally healthy inmates, while care level 4 facilities are reserved for inmates who require daily nursing care or therapy. All right? Now, inmates who do not have a verified general education development, GED, credential, or high school diploma are required to attend an adult literacy program for a minimum of 240 instructional hours or until a GED is achieved, whichever occurs first. Non-English speaking inmates must take English as a second language. I think that's pretty important, all things considered, what this bill says. Okay? Now, the BOP drug abuse treatment strategy has grown and changed as advances have occurred in substance abuse treatment. The BOP offers a variety of programs to generate positive outcomes by reducing relapse and criminality, ranging from residential programs to non-residential programs, drug education, and transitional drug treatment in communities. Now, I just read to you some of the programs that this bill would offer. Now I'm going to read it back to you again. Vocational training, educational support, substance abuse treatment, mental health care, anger management, faith-based initiatives. All right? So the other part of this, which is problematic, is that the Attorney General, amongst others, the Director of the BOP, what does it say? The Director of Administrative Office in the United States Courts, Probation and Pretrial Services. Basically, like I said, go on the site. They give you a breakdown of all of these people who are going to make these assessments prior, meaning pretrial, and after your case. But again, it's still federal. All right? So, here's another paragraph to the bill. The first act would also prepare individuals to re-enter their communities. Well, I've already read off to you. That's already in place. The RRC. It's already there. Okay? Now, this is something. An additional provision of the bill would require that prisoners be placed in facilities located near to their families, that female inmates have access to certain tampons and menstrual pads as needed, and individuals leaving custody would receive identification documents that are often prerequisites for employment. I'm going to pause for a second. All right. Part of the Act 2 is more or less researching, analysis in terms of them so-called implementing some of the stuff I read off to you, and in some cases, which is already going on, they would, in effect, put those stats against the monies they receive, and they say they will reinvest those monies back into these so-called programs. Okay? Now, this is another interesting part that I found. Again, you guys need to pull this up, and if I can speak those links, I will. If not, I'm gonna put them in there for you. So, Section D of this: products purchased by federal agencies that are manufactured overseas and could be manufactured by prisoners participating in a prison work program without reducing job opportunities for other workers in the United States. I don't know, that kind of sounds corporate and personal, and, to me. That's just my opinion. Okay? So they again discuss all these evaluation assessments, and everything is about the recidivism rate. Okay? Now, I'm going to move forward because they list, again, some of these quote-unquote would include, could include in terms of helping the prisoners. They have family relationship building, structured parent-child interaction and parenting skills. And this is, again, may include social learning and communications, interpersonal anti-bullying, rejection response, life skills. This type of shit you should learn, in your life via parent or in the school system, if that's where you are, okay? Academic classes on morals and ethics. Really? We don't even get that like every day in our own government. We don't get that day to day walking amongst other people. But okay. Cognitive behavior treatment, mentoring, substance abuse treatment. Now, with that, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be honest. What I'm going to read now, because I don't want to get the line. I believe this is what I read. However, I can't find it right now. The substance abuse treatment. Okay. Now, this is going to go towards this sentencing and what we're talking about, our brothers and on drug charges and whatnot. The bill is specific to just two. And now that part I'm clear on. It is just two. I know I saw heroin, and because I don't do drugs, I don't know if heroin and opiate are the same thing, but it specifically said treatment for heroin and opiate. Okay? Didn't say nothing about crack. So, that right there. Who is this going to benefit? We have victim impact classes or other restoration justice programs, trauma counseling, trauma-informed support programs. Okay. That's fine. But again, this is on a federal level. And I'm going to tell you even more so why you need to pay attention and why that is a red flag for a number of reasons. The biggest thing should be that it has nothing to do with state. I mean, how many people do you know, have known, have done federal time? Now, a long time ago, I was always told federal time was the easy time. They pick you up. There's times you be on an airplane flying out, get you some food and everything first before you are even processed. Okay? Now, this is the part that truly concerns me. Now, this is an article, well, from an article dated March 14, 2018. And before I came on, I was like, let me pull up again and see if these numbers, just me doing a Google search. All right, here we go. The American criminal justice system holds almost 2.3 million people in 1,719 state prisons. Now I'm going to say that again. 1,719 state prisons. Okay? There are 1,852 juvenile correctional facilities. What a difference in those numbers, right? Now we got the local jails, 3,163. And then you have 80 Indian country jails. You got your military prisons, immigration detention, and if I'm not mistaken, some of those immigration issues, that also, some of those fall under federal as well. And then they have civil commitment centers, state psychiatric hospitals. Now, I'm going to go back to those numbers, though, because if you're paying attention, there's a number I didn't mention. So I'm going to read those numbers again. The state prisons, 1,719. Juvenile, 1,852. Local jails, 3,163. Well, the federal prisons, there are 142. 102 federal prisons. All right, here's some more stats for you as of October 27th, 2018. So we'll get a clearer picture, all right? Now I'm going to get into the prison population, as in federal prison population, all right? Asian, 2,695 are incarcerated in the federal prison. Native American, 4,076. Black, 68,764. White, 100,297. So again, I ask, who does this benefit? There are more white men in the federal prisons than there are black. Also, when we speak on the drug part of it, there are more white people in there with the drug charges as well. This is not a head scratcher, okay? When we get to the Sentencing Act reform, if I'm not mistaken, because I can't remember right now, this was put out there a while ago on several occasions. So what they're doing, they're throwing it in with this federal situation, okay? So, yeah, they're going to reduce and restrict enhanced sentencing, control substance. Well, here's the thing, and I know I'm mumbling now because I'm really pissed reading it. Here's the thing. What does it do for the state level inmates? Taz brought up a valid point. This is a local situation in terms of your voting. This is a local situation in terms of the judges putting the hammer down. People say, oh, it will give judges more leeway with the sentencing when they remove the mandatory minimum. Well, explain this to me. Why is it that judges were picking and choosing all along when to impose that mandatory minimum sentencing? And what's that affluenza teenager? You remember when we heard that? How many people did he kill? He was drinking underage the whole nine. Didn't matter. How many times have pedophiles been given probation, a year with a sentence suspended, etc.? So they were already flexing their will. They were already flexing their quote-unquote leeway. It just didn't pertain to us. Period, point blank. So I'm going to conclude this, and I hope it wasn't too noisy, crackly, and, because it's my first time uploading, I really did try to stay focused, because I'm going to tell y'all now, I'm one of those girls. I can focus and not get sidetracked, the whole nine. So I'm going to leave you all with this. Who does AR 5682, First Step Act, and S 1917 sentencing reform really benefit? Also, I'm going to absolutely acknowledge the media has not given this enough coverage. I'll still pose the question, though. Is it because they knew there were a lot of holes in it? Is it because they knew, the powers that be, that it's not worth a discussion? I don't know. And I say that for whether they didn't care, or if it was a matter of, like some people are talking about, okay, the Democrats and this, they're going to go against it. Well, I don't give a shit about either party. The bottom line is I like to research and find out for myself. Okay? I don't care about the parties. I'm just not with people caping for things that they have not researched themselves. I'm not really down with people caping for shit they haven't lived through, meaning whether they know somebody, something. You have to have your feet firmly planted. Before you're dismissive, condescending, when it comes to people in general, when it comes to these things, our laws and bills coming across Congress, and you want to say, why, but this is good. Well, no matter how you feel about the president, he's really looking out and doing what he said. Kanye was there. No. As far as I know, Kanye was, escaping his charges. He could pay his little stuff with the paparazzi and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need to deal with people who have been in the system on a state level, on a federal level. And I know y'all all know somebody that's been in the county a couple of times. And the main thing is that these people are trying to convince other people that the BOP wants to utilize or copy, I should say, things that quote unquote worked at the state level. Really? Do you know how many things were taken away that would actually benefit those people in state prison? You know how many things they have taken out That state stuff, those are privately funded situations. Let that sink in. Do they really care about keeping people out? How about the possibility of free representation for an expungement for uh, ex inmates? How about, and this is a little 50-50 with this one, after 10 years, you've been an ex felon, it's automatically expunged. Okay, see, that's the type of stuff that helps you attain a job, keep a job, etc. But you can do your time, quote unquote, be rehabilitated, okay, and you still got that jacket when it comes time for you to be the quote unquote productive citizen that they want you to be. All right? Think about that.